Welcome to another episode of the EMS Wizard podcast. We have John, we have Walter.
When are we going to start talking about the tribe here? We're going to have to move forward with this. My time's valuable.
I'm good with it, Chief. I'm good. Are you guys good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
Anthony has time. Oh, I see. We don't want an empty seat sitting there, or else we'll be interviewing some empty chair that represents Sequoyah, I believe. Is that what it is?
We'll have to send out a search party.
Right.
For sure. No doubt.
Well, Anthony Sequoyah, I do appreciate you coming on with us to this episode. First, let's start out with a little bit about Cherokee Tribal EMS. It's something I've never really known much about till I had the opportunity to go out and visit with you guys a little while back. Just kind of give us a general rundown of what you guys are like out there on the reservation.
Tribal EMS was established in August 1st, 1980. We started out as a hospital-based system. We functioned there for about 8 to 10 years, then went to ALS, and then in around 2000, we broke away from Indian Health Service, and Eastern Band of Cherokee added this all to the tribal budget, which we're all now tribal employees. Have a staff of 50. We've reached, with the help of Zach Stutz, stealing him away from OEMS, having him as our education captain. We carry about every drug and more that the state will allow us. We have ultrasound, we have vents, just about everything in the closet that you can throw on the walls of the ambulance that we're carrying today. A little bit about Cherokee. If you see our trucks, it'll have Cherokee Tribal EMS, and underneath it, it'll say Quala Boundary. A lot of history here in just a short stab. So the Eastern Band of Cherokees, we do not live on the Indian reservation. We live on what they call the Quala Boundary. The Cherokees bartered and traded with a gentleman that would go out and buy property all through western North Carolina. That's including Swain, Jackson, Graham, a little bit in Haywood, and a little bit in Tennessee. And with that property, then he would barter back with the Cherokees for vegetables, carvings, paintings, woven belts, basketry. That's the baskets here in Cherokee are really big. A lot of people collect them, and that's how the Quala Boundary got started. And the reservation aspect comes from the removal of when they split up the Cherokees, like in Tahlequah. That is, they call themselves the Cherokee Nation, and we remained as the Eastern Band of Cherokees. So, yeah, the tribal EMS in Tahlequah, they modeled their system after ours, I think, in around 1985, and we've always competed. It's either been the Eastern Band or been Cherokee Nation that has been the top EMS in Indian country as far as EMS services, and we hold proud to keep holding the reign of being the top tribal EMS in the United States, with only around 90 tribes out of the almost 600 have actually EMS services that's operated by the tribe. So we're pretty well grounded. We've been in business, like I said, since 1980. We've been very fortunate to the fact that when it comes to serving our people and the visitors of the boundary, that the tribe's cash flow to EMS has always been a priority, and we hardly never get what we ask for. That should have said what we asked for. That's that public education part.
So Anthony, you guys have we're out there on the boundary. You guys are your own sovereign nation. So how does that affect your relationship with the North Carolina State Office of EMS? That's a little bit different probably than most any other EMS system. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It is. We're unique as far as in any tribal EMS. We have a great working relationship with the North Carolina Office of Emergency Services. We follow the same guidelines, protocols, disciplinary, anything of that nature. We hold true to what everybody else is following.
That's unique. How long? You said you started in 1980. Have you operated any differently since 1980? Has it always been the same setup? What type of growth did you see, or change? I actually just use the word growth. I should say. What type of changes have you seen happen over since 1980 to now? Just is anything that just stands out specific to the tribe?
Well, when we got the casino, which has been about 28, 30 years ago, all public safety began to grow. I started out in the fire service and then transferred over to EMS in 90. And with the casino functioning, we were able to really grow. We went from one truck, 8 employees, to I have 50 employees now. All of our staff is paramedics. And so that kind of breaks up the monotonous of having to run every call the way we used to. But the casino is the main income that EMS and the tribe depends on.
Do you have to be Cherokee to work there?
No, you don't have to be an enrolled member to work for tribal EMS. I have 8 enrolled members and 42 non-enrolled members. So, it's not that we want somebody warm with a beating heart. We want the best of the best to be able to work here at tribal EMS.
And Anthony, you need the best of the best because you guys have a little bit of a transport time to I know that you have a hospital out there, but your closest level 2 trauma center, that's a bit of a haul for any type of specialty care for you, isn't it?
It is. It's about an hour transport time for anything advanced level. We do a lot of interfacility transports from Cherokee Indian Hospital to Mission, Duke, UNC, Erlanger. So we stay on the road very frequently. We average about 3 to 5 trips to Mission Hospital, which that's the hour transport time.
Wow.
So, Anthony, you got 8 of 50 employees that are enrolled. Sometimes in EMS we have that problem with some diversity of the population meeting our EMS workforce. Do you see that same problem since you only have 8 enrolled there?
Not so much now. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, when we had a lot of elder population, we did run into some diversity there of I would like an enrolled member here treating me, and we would accommodate the best we could. But in today's world, hopefully most people are thankful for whoever they get, and of course the most trained and well-mannered behaved that they can be.
When you run like a EMT class there, do you see any registered attending those classes?
We do. When we have EMT all the way through paramedic here, we'll have several that register to enroll in the class. Our last paramedic class, I think we graduated 5 out of it, and we hired every one of them. So, It's raised here at home, be here at home. It's just hard to get the involvement here because of and this is just my opinion. It's hard to get the involvement of the local people because with our education department and because of the casino and the tribe, they can go to school anywhere in the world, anywhere they can get accepted. So the other options are a lot greater than it was, per se, when I started taking EMT through paramedic.
Gotcha. Interesting.
You've used the word a couple of times of enrolled. Can you just kind of briefly describe what that is so folks that are listening may understand a little bit better when you say enrolled, what that means exactly?
Yeah, to be enrolled with the Eastern Band of Cherokees, you have to meet a blood quantum, which is based off the Baker Roll, which is based off the 1800s U.S. Census Bureau. So they have to follow that link all the way back to determine your blood quantum. Like my dad was a full blood, I'm half. So that's kind of the way that determines on where you're at and how you can become an enrolled member of the Eastern Band.
So just for the record, Mark's not enrolled, right?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So,
I need to submit my blood.
yeah, yeah. Please put it in a plastic bag and drop
Gentlemen,
it.
Gentlemen are usually not
desk.
enrolled.
Yeah, the next
Gentlemen,
time you're out there.
Gentlemen, you'll probably fail like myself.
Correct.
Anthony, so what does recruiting look like? Because I know from some of our trips out there, and then some of the follow-up stuff that I've done, that enrolled member will get paid to go to college. So you get accepted to Harvard, that will get paid for. So how are you recruiting when your citizens, they've got some pretty unique opportunities? What are some unique things that you do when you're trying to do your recruiting and targeting your folks to say, hey, be a part of the community?
So we're fortunate that we have 4 colleges and another private institution that they send their students here to do their ride time, clinical time, and we make sure and try to put every effort into going to the college's graduation and everything, and doing a recruitment that way. The interesting thing about the recruitment here, I've been the director, the EMS chief for 8 years, and the fortunate or unfortunate, when we started to grow and add more trucks, then it got, of course, harder to find employees. We had a huge hiring process and lots of applications 3 years ago. We was able to fill 13 positions without having to reach out to anyone.
Wow.
And so now we've kind of come to a happy medium of, we have, I think, 5 positions open now, and I think we have 3 applicants that's going on. Tribal EMS used to be the highest paid in the state, best benefits, and I think the times of change of society and the millennium and the baby boomers is over. As well as that affects I think that affects every EMS system in the state.
Definitely. It's been some unique challenges managing that.
Yeah. So following up on that, with between you and Zach and Bob's still there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Bob's still there. So with you 3 guys, y'all have a unique game you guys have to play there, as tribal EMS, and you have, longer transport times. You have some high speed, low drag equipment there. So with your agency specifically, what are some unique challenges that you guys have had to work through, and what were some of those solutions that you come to?
I think one of our biggest challenges is the fact that we are so far away from higher level of care, especially a helicopter can't fly. The stress and the pressure coming from being able to do what's best for patient care, whether it be pulling the captain off the truck, whether it be taking another truck out of service and let another medic or both medics get on the truck with them. That's one of our biggest challenges. I guess the next one would be we deal with a lot of diabetes, amputations, dialysis, nursing home, and the challenges there, it seems to be like a roller coaster. We'll do real well for a short period of time, and then we'll do really bad for a long period of time. And that's all in working with management at the hospital or at the other facilities. We have started meeting with the trauma center quarterly, and they've been a big help. Mission Hospital, HCA, they have been a big help and have improved on our end. Of course, Cherokee Hospital sends a lot of patients to that facility, so hopefully that relationship will continue to grow.
So Anthony, you just talked about captains. How has the leadership and how has things changed with the leadership of tribal EMS over the last couple of years?
Well, I started, let's see, I was a managed supervisor. We didn't even have a title other than a supervisor, but didn't get any extra pay and didn't really have a whole lot of authority. When I came in as the chief, we got the captains established. We got the captains actually riding in a QRV. We have added Zach and Bob as captains as well on the administrative side. And we also just hired 4 lieutenants. The administrative side of tribal EMS it was my goal to get a ladder. We never had a ladder before. It was only the director. And you come to work here, but we really didn't have anything to look forward to or to grow towards, and which was always a morale killer here because you just didn't have anywhere to go. I'm the 5th director, EMS chief, since EMS has been started here. And we've really had a lot of growth, and that's not just because of me. It's because of all the good leadership through Captain Stutz, Captain Dunlap, the captains that work the 4 shifts, and all the employees. I have a great bunch of employees here, very respectful, and do a great job for the tribe, serving, of course, the community and all the visitors that come here.
So is Zach standing there right now forcing you to say these things?
No, Zach's not here.
He must have a lot of money to make you say nice things about Zach. Bob, too. Bob's sort of the silent assassin in the back.
No, I just know which side's my bread buttered on.
Well, one of the questions I had for you was, what type of challenges, or did you have any challenges when it came to? It sounds like you sort of had to make it up as you came along, as far as management goes, and putting titles on stuff, which Terry has often said the titles are just made up. We have these other jobs that we do inside of these responsibilities. Where did you go for training? What did you turn to get, that type of, something given to your guys so they would know how to lead or manage or whatnot?
I was the first one to go to the UNC Charlotte Management Institute. That was back in the 90s. I had a good mentor. I had a mentor by the name of David Blanton. He was an interim director here twice and a director for a short period of time. And his family come from a small business aspect, and I pretty much followed him everywhere that he went. He went to the fire department. I went to the fire department. He came to EMS. I came to EMS. he became a magistrate. I became a magistrate, and then I ended up being put in as the EMS chief, as well as serving as the public safety director for 3 years here for the tribe over fire, EMS, police, dispatch, domestic violence. I had about 500 employees at one time. So it was a big learning experience. I've learned to surround myself with people who can make tribal EMS function without Anthony here. And that was a challenge for me. I was stingy. I wanted to try to do it by myself, but that didn't take but about a month. And I really had an eye-opening experience. And with the management like we have, it's kind of, I learn every day. But the best thing that I have ever did is put 2 people on one side and one on the other, to be able to lead as well, just in case something does happen to me, or the game of politics. It is in the state as well as it is here in the tribe.
Anthony, I've got a kind of a follow-up on that, to where what I'm hearing is in your time with tribal EMS, that succession planning and preparing for that next step seems to be one of the things. And last time that we were out there, we had a conversation where you were talking about those lieutenants, and starting to promote that growth with those lieutenants as that first rung and level. And y'all were doing an interesting thing that I thought, and where it was being explained to me that if, and I'm going to make the shifts up, but if your A shift captain did supplies, that the C shift lieutenant was also going to do supplies. And that way, y'all would make sure that there was always a coverage in terms of certain things being done. And just, I use that as one microscopic example of that succession planning. Why do you think that succession planning is so important? I know you touched on it a little bit. Some folks, it's a newer concept, and when we had the conversation, it just like a light bulb made me shine with happiness. So tell a little bit more about that.
Well, the succession plan, I did it when I was a supervisor. I had supplies. I had the truck, EMS truck maintenance, ordering, putting them out for bid, just about everything maintenance wise. So when I got the captains on board to be hired, we assigned them each a responsibility. So with that responsibility, as we have grown over the past 5 years, it's just about too much for the captain to be able to run calls, do his job as far as day-to-day operations, and also take care of what they're assigned to do as far as ordering supplies, truck maintenance, building maintenance, and of course the drug supply. So with the lieutenants, excuse me, we determined that it was going to be a best fit that, like you said, A shift, she does all the supply ordering, she stocks inventories. So with the lieutenant that'll be on the C shift, they will pick up and also do the same thing. But where we've missed out is, and what happened to make this such a big ordeal, was the fact that A shift captain would order the supplies, and then she would be out 3 days before her next shift. Supplies would come in, and things would be misplaced, moved, or not even delivered. So this is just another way to make sure that everything falls in place, and to make sure that everybody's held accountable.
And I think that's that good planning that sometimes we tend to want to do our thing, or we tend to want to do what we can with as little as possible. And so those are probably some of the pieces that y'all are definitely thinking your way and solving some of those problems before they occur. Walter, I think you had something.
So, Anthony, if you could go back 30 years, 30 years is a long time, I know. Can you remember that far back 30 years ago?
It's old like Walter, shouldn't be a problem.
Mark
30.
is not even 30 years old, so
Baby Mark. Okay,
I'll
back
take
to my
that.
question.
I'll
30
take
years
that.
ago, Anthony, if you could make something, if you could change something, say something, do something different 30 years ago, what would it be?
I would really
It's kind
seek
of like Back to the Future.
right. I would really seek more training on management and how to be more respectful, how to be more responsible. Anthony of 30 years ago, I was definitely not management material, but as time went on, it took a lot of growing up. It took a lot of vision and a lot of me gaining the respect of the staff. Back in those days, it was mostly enrolled members that worked for Tribal EMS. There wasn't but 8 of us. And when you go back that far back, I definitely wasn't your number one paramedic, but I wasn't the worst paramedic. It was just fortunate that my friend David Blanton showed me and mentored me to become a leader, how to show people respect. I tell my staff every day that's here how much I appreciate them. They're doing a good job. And when I leave the door here every evening, it's, hey, if you need anything, call me. I'm going to be at home. I'm always there for them no matter where I'm at. And I think that's the way that this program has grown. I have to give all the Cheetos to the staffing here. They're what has made Tribal EMS where we are today, and that's with the guidance of the captains, Zach, Bob, and myself. There's pretty much nothing that anybody could do here that I haven't done to be able to come up with an excuse of why not to follow policy. So I think that growing up in EMS, this is my second home, my second family, and it takes a lot of dedication. But definitely, I would suggest to anyone these management courses, this EMS academies, the programs that you all offer now is top notch. You all have gave me a big gust of fresh air. It really opened my eyes to things that were in the past to how we do things today. And with your all's education part of this in management and just being the leader is truly eye-opening to what it can be. And as well as my staff that has went to your classes, y'all's classes, it's energized them. They really take in what you all have to offer. And I'm not just tooting your horn because we're all on here together, but it is definitely a eye-opening experience to be able to go through this as a seasoned medic, as well as it is for someone that is not seasoned. So kudos to you all. You all do a great job of inspiring and the learning aspect of it.
Hey, Anthony.
Yeah.
That beard.
Yeah.
Amish people grow beard. Anything different between the Amish people growing a beard and the Cherokee people growing a beard?
Well, to be honest, there's not many Cherokees that can grow a beard. Hair feature on an Indian is very rare I don't have any hair anywhere else except on my face and my head. I mean, most truly, I don't have armpit hair. I don't have leg hair. I don't have arm hair.
I don't know if these white boys can say that or not.
I don't.
So the Irish white dude cannot.
Yeah, this is not.
Out of all the wizards, though, you look the most like a wizard. I would like to know a couple of things, though, Anthony. Number one is, what is the Cherokee word or phrase for second best friend?
I couldn't tell you. I had to look up and study what I told you to start with.
And if you had to talk about one thing about what, like, the meaning of something, could you tell me what the meaning of, like, one feather is? I would literally like to know again what the meaning of one feather is.
No, we don't want to hear about that. Is this do Cherokees? Anthony is a serious, do Cherokees have a hierarchy for their friends? Is that a Native American thing, or is that something concocted by people in dumpster homes? I don't know.
You mean people like John Wilson, the wizard himself?
Pilgrims started something. The Pilgrims started this. Pilgrims were not in the top. I bet you they was not in the top list of having friends.
So we keep talking about this best friend. I still haven't seen him.
I haven't either.
He's one feather. What do you expect?
If anybody knows him, he's a medical examiner like Anthony. Anthony with his 387 hats. Have you ever
examiner, the magistrate, the EMS chief? What else is he?
Anthony, have you ever even heard of Keith?
Who?
Nah, Anthony hasn't. Okay.
Keith? Oh yeah, I've heard of
He's
him
not
now. Being that John told me who he was. I did some spying and find out who he was.
Since John said who this guy was.
The Indian EMS chief doesn't know who Keith is. That should tell you something, Terry. That should tell you something.
Correct. Anthony, thank you for telling us. And thank you for allowing us to know that Keith is a deadbeat.
Wait! Don't roll the credits. I want to give a little information to y'all from the Cherokees. The Cherokees never say goodbye. It's always that we'll see you later, and God bless all of you.